quackopractor, chiropractor. Those were the terms that were used. Absolute disrespect. And I'd have to laugh along with their dumb jokes about you guys when what they didn't know is I was injured in high school playing baseball, and I went to a chiropractor, and he helped me. I'm from Iowa. There's lots of chiropractors in Iowa because of the school in Davenport. So I had to be fake for a few years and finally realized that I wanted to switch. Because you're prejudiced, you start out negative, and you have to make your records be absolutely perfect. Any sort of flaw, and they're looking at, this is it. I've got this case. If it goes in litigation, I could hurt them. If they could let me argue a pre-existing decapitation, they would have loved it. All right, nobody laughed at that.
I did.
All right, you got it. Okay.
The chuckle over here.
Little chuckle.
All right. Everybody's awake.
All right, exactly. Number one on your records, get rid of, do you have an attorney? Get rid of that. Number two, who referred you? Get rid of that, especially if it's the attorney. There's nothing wrong with that. There's ways that a good attorney can argue around that at a trial. Get it off there. That kills you, okay? When you do refer or get the case referred to attorney, or you refer one out, get his cell phone number. If he won't give you the cell phone number, you don't want to work with him, okay? Get that information. The client's complaining about the attorney, or they're not coming for care, or they're being abusive to their staff. You don't want to have to go to the front desk. Get their number. I call my chiropractors all the time. They call me. It's instant gratification. We get the issue resolved. You don't have the time. I don't have the time. So get their number. If they won't give it to you, then you got to be suspicious. Oh, by the way, what I was supposed to talk about is the reason they're cutting your bills down. Okay, so when there's an attorney referral on there, they're suspicious. They're cutting the bill, thinking it's fraud. Too long of treatment. Again, Dr. Ullman mentioned 4 to 6 weeks. That's what orthopedic doctors tell me. That's what chiropractors have told me. Does anybody feel different about that with soft tissue injuries? Is that standard? Is that what you guys see? You see more than that? More. Okay.
More than that. More like 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks.
6 to 8. Okay, but you're not going 4 months, 6 months.
No.
Okay. If it's 2 or 3 months, what are you guys doing?
We're transitioning from acute care to rehabilitation care.
Okay.
It's in our office, so it's not just soft tissue treatment. Then there's stabilization, which doesn't go into beyond accident treatment. We're not trying to get them better than they were before, but just stabilize them. So we do a lot of rehab in our office. So first 2 or 3 weeks, maybe acute care, all soft tissue treatment. Then maybe the next 3 weeks, which is moving them to about 6 weeks, is all active rehab, almost like physical therapy.
Okay. You need to consider referring. It's like Dr. Ullman said. You guys would recognize. Hey, my foot's dropping. I'm not walking right. I'm not feeling. I'm tingling feeling in my fingers. These guys are right. You got to get them out. When my clients are treating 7, 8 months, well, what's going on with you? Well, the doctor said I'm almost done. And it's not just chiropractors. It's physical therapists as well. And it's not just because there's $10,000, $20,000 in Medicare coverage. Okay. The amounts of the bills, you guys, it's common sense. Think of yourself as a juror. If a juror sees $15,000 in a chiropractic bill, are they going to believe that? It's hard to believe. Use your common sense with that. Go ahead.
Remember telling me we don't have common sense. So if we're speaking 4 to 6 weeks of treatment, what bill do you like to see? $2,000, $3,000, $4,000? What can you come across your desk and say, all right, I like it?
3 to 5,
Okay.
I would think, for that amount of time. Yeah. I don't want to see $800 procedures that no one knows what it is, and those show up once in a while. And and it's out of the ordinary, and I can't explain to the adjuster what it is, and the doctor can't either. Was it done? That's the kind of stuff that hurts us. Dave and I had a case, and of course I'm not going to mention any patients' names, but kept coming into him, and it was a new thing every week, and he'd have to write it down. Like, for example, I was out mowing my lawn, and that's in the record. I was, what was the other thing? Christmas tree, putting the Christmas tree away, or something like that, hurting themselves. All that stuff, you zero in on that and say, oh, it's all from something else. And as a defense attorney, we'd ask the plaintiff about that, and that hurts them. Where are these injuries really coming from? And a jury, if it gets to a jury, the jury is going to be like, great, it's all from that. We knew it. There's a smoking gun. So when that stuff comes up, you have to tell the attorney. Again, cell phone, call him. Listen, this is what's going on. They come into your office and you ask how they're doing, and they say they're fine. Why are you here then? You make them tell you what's going on. Some of your patients are going to be very proud and try to think that they're getting over things. But if they're saying they're fine, you don't need to be seeing them. But if they're hurting, and they're walking like that, then you need to make them explain themselves to you. It's not acceptable to say, I'm okay, unless they are okay. So get that down. If it's pain 0 out of 10, then it hurts your bill, and it hurts the credibility of the case. Again, like Mr. Davis said, sloppy records really kill us. That's awful. That's not credible, not believable. They've got to be typed. I need a strong beginning narrative. Here's how they presented. This is what I prefer. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the diagnosis. The treatment in the middle, and then at the end, a very strong